Alright, Tom's back at it again. I found this jerry can at the dump, and I'm going to show you a way how to undent it. Whoever threw this thing away likely did it because, one, it's either rusty as hell, two, doesn't hold gas anymore, or three, it looks like someone tried to use it as a boat cushion. So today I just want to show you a quick, simple way to hopefully undent one of these. I haven't tried it before, but I'm using as much of my redneck engineering intuition to figure this out, so hopefully it works. If you're seeing this video, it probably did, or it failed so catastrophically it was hilarious. So first things first, you have to make sure that this seals. If this rubber gasket under here, hold on, this rubber gasket in here doesn't seal, then this isn't going to work at all. And if that rubber gasket doesn't seal, then why are you trying to fill this with flammable liquids in the first place? Oh man, those are rust bubbles. Nice. That's called patina. If you close it and then stick it in a room with a different temperature and let it sit for an hour and then come back and open it, you'll hear a hiss of air coming out or going in if that seals. So that's how you verify that. Alright, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to tell you how to undent this thing. So you're going to want to take this can with the spout open. First, dump anything out of it. If you got some in there, get it the hell out. Then you're going to want to take this can and set it someplace cool. The dead of August in South Carolina, so cool is not a adjective that can describe outside here for at least another 4 months. So instead, I'm going to take that and stick it in a chilly spot in my kitchen and let it sit overnight. Alright, and now that it's been a day and not 30 seconds for me to walk across the garage, once this is all totally cooled down, you're going to want to take about a cup of gasoline, maybe a pint, maybe a quart. I got to work out the exact amount. I'll put it right here, whatever it is, whatever worked for me. And this is a 5-gallon gas tank. And you're going to want to dump that in there while this can is nice and cold. You want to make sure the gas is nice and cold. You're going to want to seal off your tank. Luckily, this dump gas can still seals, even though it's janky as all hell. Want to seal that off, and if you got any sort of lock it, and make extra certain that it is totally airtight. Now, you're going to want to take this can and set it out in the hot sun until it makes a really loud noise and goes back into shape. And you may have to do this a couple of times because every time that pops out, there's more volume, so the pressure is going to drop, so it'll have to vaporize more to expand it out, and it all depends on the size of your dents. These are pretty significant dents. I don't think I'm going to get this all the way fixed, but I just want it to be just a little more stable. Get the full 5 gallons out of it. Now, if you don't want to have pressurized volatile flammable liquids sitting out in the hot sun in your jerry can of dubious physical integrity, you can also do this with dry ice, but I have no idea what the amount of dry ice you would need to accomplish this would be. My recommendation with doing any of this is to start small and just work your way up. Do this at your own risk. I'm a trained idiot. You're probably not. You're probably just a regular idiot. So I let the jerry can and the gas cool down in the house for a couple hours. They're both about 70 degrees Fahrenheit now. And I'm going to try and add between a pint and a quart of gasoline to this can. That should be good. And now we'll seal this up. Alright. That's sealed up. Now I just have to hope that it's airtight towards outward pressure, because I know it's airtight towards inward pressure. Also, in typical fashion, after I started filming, I went inside and did some research, and so I understand gasoline vapor pressure a little bit better now, more than I probably ever wanted to. What I was saying before about not adding too much gasoline in here and overpressuring it, that's irrelevant. I totally forgot about the inverse relationship between temperature and pressure. Only a certain amount can evaporate and diffuse into a container to fill up that volume. So you can't actually overfill this. You just don't want to put too much in there because there's no reason to. Also, the type of gasoline you get, when you buy that gasoline, and your altitude all have some bearing on this, so your mileage may vary. Ideally, you want to get 10% 10% ethanol blend. You want to buy it in like February, and then you want to wait and do this during the hottest time of the year, and you want to do it at a higher elevation. That's because a 10% ethanol blended gasoline actually has a higher vapor pressure than straight gasoline. The ethanol vaporizes easier, and that combines with the other hydrocarbons in the gasoline to create a peak vapor pressure somewhere around the 10% ethanol range. Additionally, the EPA regulates the read vapor pressure of gasoline in summer blends in order to reduce the vapor pressure of gasoline sold during hot weather months, in order to reduce the amount of gasoline that volatilizes and evaporates during the various processes and while in vehicles during the summer months, to reduce the impact of gasoline vapors on the ozone layer, which also means that winter gasoline has about a 50% higher volatility. It's like a 13 RVP, and summer stuff is like a 9 RVP. On top of that, of course, the higher you go in altitude, the less the barometric atmospheric pressure is around you, so the less pressure is being exerted on the outside of the can. So the relative pressure from the inside of the can to the outside of the can can be greater, which means that the force being exerted from the inside to the outside of the can will be more, and your effect will be better. I have almost the worst case scenario that is 10% ethanol, but that's summer gas that was bought like last month in July, and I'm at sea level, so I don't get any bonus points. But anyway, it's like midnight, and I'm gonna go to bed, and tomorrow morning I'm gonna see if that's changed at all, and then I'm gonna sit out in the hot sun. It's the next morning. This thing's probably gone up 10-15 degrees. We'll say 10. There's a little over 70 in the house, and it's probably 85 out right now. And I have to say, it did undent a slight bit, and it was dinging right after I put the gas in it. Not much, but just some. So I'm gonna set this up out here where it can get lots of afternoon sun, and let's hope it undents. Looking at all the fancy graphs I found, from what I could tell, 9 kVp summer gas should double in volume. It should have double the vapor pressure, going from 20 degrees Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius, which is how hot I expect it to get in direct sunlight. Ideally, what you would want to do is have this gas can open before you put any gas in it. Have this gas can open, and then have a can of gas with the lid cracked. Stick both of them in a deep freezer, well, a chest freezer. Get that down to about 30 degrees. Pull it out. Immediately put, a pint or a quart of gas into your can. Then seal it up, and then go out and set it directly on like a blacktop in direct sunlight at like 12 in the afternoon. And because you want this to go from cold gas to hot gas as fast as possible, safely. Don't be throwing it in a fire, but you want it to go from cold gas to hot gas as fast as possible, because that gives it the least opportunity for that seal to leak gasoline out and bleed off all the pressure you're trying to build to blow your sides out. However, I'm not doing that just because I wanted to film last night and I didn't really have the opportunity. I did some noodling, and honestly, the dry ice is probably actually more dangerous. You see, gasoline is a liquid at room temperature, so as the pressure goes up, the gasoline's just going to recondense, and the pressure is going to equalize. It's going to reach an equilibrium. Carbon dioxide is not a solid at room temperature, so if you throw dry ice in there, it's just going to sublimate until it's all gone, which may blow that thing apart. Gasoline has a natural check and balance in there, just because it'll recondense if the pressure gets too high. And just like that, she's back to being straight. Well, straight as she's gonna get. So yeah, it didn't even get terribly hot today. I mean, she did get some sun on her, but it rained for just recently and for the most of the day, and that sudden evaporative cooling didn't seem to hurt it at all. So now I've got one mostly straight jerry can that I need to drop on the ground and try and flatten the bottom out. And hopefully your jerry can's undented too. Mine's kind of extra dented. Now it's a little bulged out. But yeah, I'm gonna clean all the gunk out of this one, and then I'm probably gonna take a wire wheel and take all the paint off of these rust spots, rub some navel jelly on it, and then hit her with the old olive drab rattle can, and get a few more years out of this thing. I will have to get in there with the light and just make sure it doesn't look super rusty in there, but she's straight now, or at least as straight as she's gonna get. And all it took was a pint of gasoline and one giant ball of fusing hydrogen in the afternoon. So I hope this helped. I hope you didn't blow your house up. Till next time, Tom out. It's honestly not too bad looking. I was expecting it to be a lot more orange. That's like some watered down sugar-free tang on the scale of clear to radioactive horse piss. I think the lawnmower will love that just fine. I won't even notice that it's full of rust and whatever dump garbage is in there. Oh man, that's pretty bad.